I've meant to renew my blog for a while. It's gone untouched for better than 18 months. Every time I sit down to try and type something, I get distracted. But I've been missing out on all the fun of commenting on the foibles of George W. Bush and the follies of our current slate of candidates in the election. So I'm trying this video thing for a while. We'll see how that works. It may not work at all. There may be some typed entries in between these, but we'll give this a shot and see how it goes. I'm a little bit ticked off today because there's been a huge amount of blather about which candidate of the three that we have currently, John McCain, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, which candidate is most suited to be the commander-in-chief. This commander-in-chief thing never came up in an election before 2000. I suppose not really before 9/11. But lately it's become a huge and actually a hugely false premise. The president is, by Article 2 of the Constitution, also the commander-in-chief of the U.S. military and any associated state militias, yada yada, it goes on. But you have to go back and understand the reason that the founders of the Constitution did this. The reason this was done was to prevent a terrible danger to a new and somewhat unstable democracy from a military coup or a junta uprising, overthrowing the Supreme Court, overthrowing the Congress, holding the president at gunpoint, or just taking him out and, shooting him. So that stipulation in the Constitution was wisely put in simply for the purpose of allowing the president to quash any military uprisings that threatened the Union, threatened the Republic, threatened the stability of the new nation. So it wasn't a stupid move. What is stupid is that lately it has become a sort of buzzword qualification for election to the presidency. I think that's totally false. The president was never meant to be, and rarely actually has been, a military commander, at least since Washington laid down his gun and picked up the mantle of the presidency. The president is not meant to be a military tactician. That's for the generals to do. He is not able, at least according to the Constitution, to declare war. That's the job of the Congress. But the commander-in-chief little subheading in the Constitution does allow the president to protect this nation, this one nation, from an internal overtaking and uprising by its own military. So it's not the president as commander-in-chief to defend us from foreign threats. It is the president as commander-in-chief to defend the citizens of the United States from our own military. Now, having been a stable nation for a couple of hundred years, we've never faced that, and we've sort of lost sight of that. But that's a huge threat. We see that, you've seen it for hundreds of years. You've seen it through the last 100 years, particularly in South America, particularly in Eastern Europe, where a sudden uprising by Generalissimo so-and-so, who elevates himself to the presidency, assumes the presidency in his military uniform with a pistol strapped to his side, and appoints himself president for life, or president until the next coup, or whichever comes first. uh, and frequently those events are simultaneous. The Generalissimo Presidente gets knocked off, so the next coup is is effectively the end of his life. Yes, I'm president for life if I live past next Thursday. Anyway, so we have to be very cautious in looking at the American president as a military person. He's not. He may have been, as McCain, he may have been a soldier, as Eisenhower, as, Teddy Roosevelt, several of them have been previous military people, but when they assume the presidency, they are civilians. Civilian control of the U.S. military by a U.S. president is the goal of the Constitution, and that's to protect the U.S. people from the U.S. military. It's not to protect the U.S. people from global threats. That's a totally different question. So don't let them bullshit you with this. Don't let them bullshit you. Cite them chapter and verse of the Constitution and just don't buy it because it's bullshit. It's utter bullshit. We're not electing a general. We're not electing a colonel. We're not even electing a corporal. We are electing a president who is effectively the commander-in-chief of the military, but only for the purpose of protecting the citizens from our military, not from other militaries. That's the job of the generals. That's the job of the Congress to declare war. It's not the president's job. And it's a fake fucking question we're asking. We're being rolled over with this crap. And you have to be on the alert because, as you know, they'll all lie to you as much as they can. Don't let them get away with it. Thanks. See you again. Bye-bye.